To the show at exactly time for me to give you radio according to the South African Tobacco Transformation Alliance. Parliament is holding public hearings on the new tobacco control bill this weekend. The new bill will have a huge impact on South Africa. It will criminalize smoking and snuff and could devastate the tobacco industry. The hearings will be held from 10 a.m. at Butterworth Town Hall on Friday, the 26th of January, at Ashley Weinhardt Community Hall in Ekomani on Saturday, the 27th of January, and at East London City Hall on the 28th of January. Tell Parliament what you think. Say no to the tobacco control bill. Ladies and gentlemen, to the audience, to everybody who's also watching us, and also to those who are streaming us live at this moment, we welcome you. We're about to be in conversation with Mr. MOTSUMI, who is the spokesperson of ZACHARIA, as we know, stands for the South African Tobacco Transformation Alliance. We welcome you to the show. How are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners.
How are you doing today?
I'm just doing well, and you? It's just so hot in Butterworth.
I can imagine. Welcome to the Eastern Cape.
Thanks very much.
All right, let's definitely get into it. But just before that, could you just highlight what your responsibility is as the spokesperson of SATA?
As the spokesperson of SATA, my responsibility is just to voice out the or whatever that is happening within the organization, and so that the people in South Africa should know what we are doing as SATA. SATA, that is for the South African Tobacco Transformation Alliance. That is an organization that represents the tobacco from starting the tobacco value chain, starting from your growers, your processors, and your manufacturers.
All right. Thank you so much for highlighting that, because I wanted us, just before we go into the interview, so that we get a broader understanding of what USAIDA specifically does. Now, why should people be interested in public hearings about the proposed tobacco control bill?
What we are saying from SATA is that people should be interested in this and come and voice out their whatever that they don't feel comfortable with, more especially with this public hearing of tobacco. What is happening here is that we have seen that the government has just taken a shortcut. They were not supposed to bring it to the people as it is, but they were supposed to. This was supposed to go to NETLEC, but then the government decided to take the shortcut. As we know that this is our government. They've been doing that for so many bills. But what we are saying now to the people, that this is not the right thing. We have seen illicit tobacco increasing in this country. What happened in 2020 is a classical example, because back then the government decided to ban tobacco and tobacco products. But within that space of time, for a period of 5 months, we started seeing illicit trading increasing in this country. Now, from SATA, what we are saying is that as the government, we have seen so many challenges within the Department of Health itself. We have seen so many growers getting out of the business because of illicit trade. We have seen yesterday I heard from the Department of Health that they were struggling with nurses, where they were struggling to get more doctors. People were complaining about the health that is in the country, more especially in this province of Eastern Cape. So that is why we are saying as SATA, these are the things that the government should be focusing on, not the issue of over-regulating tobacco. We know for a fact now that tobacco is regulated. It's not that it starts now. Tobacco is regulated in this country. The government, what they are doing is they are over-regulating this. And we see the government to make sure that they ban tobacco and cigarettes in this country.
All right. Thank you so much for that, and also giving us a bit of background going back into 2020, whereby we knew exactly what happened. Now, what are the main points in the proposed tobacco control bill that the tobacco industry is most certainly concerned about?
I'm going to mention just few. One is plain packaging. That is something that the government would like to introduce. Plain packaging simply means that the manufacturers in South Africa, and then all those tobacco that is imported to the country, that would then be in a uniform package. And then we are saying that would increase illicit in this country, because we have seen with whatever that is happening in this country with illicit, it's just tobacco that is being packaged in a branded form. But now once they say that they want to bring in a plain packaging, that's going to be more easier now for the illicit traders. Yeah, so now you are saying that they should start smiling because they've been spending some money on the branding part. So now once you bring in the plain packaging, then they will smile more. Secondly, we are saying the issue of a ban on display. That's what the government is trying to bring in, that they would like to ban the display of tobacco. So it would then make it difficult for the tobacco consumers to buy what they usually because once you get into a retailer or any shop, you need to buy what you see. Now you are going to just ask for something that you didn't see. So it makes it difficult for the industry, and it makes it difficult for the informal traders. We know that our brothers and sisters and our mothers, they've been selling cigarettes on the street, on tabletops. So now if you ban that, then you are making it difficult. Now how are they going to earn a living? I'm just now from the public hearing. Most of the people were saying they grew up from selling cigarettes on the streets. So now if the government would, comes in and say, but they want to ban those tabletops, now how are these people going to survive? We know for a fact that unemployment in South Africa is very high. So now you are increasing that. If you are saying that you want to ban that, and it continues on to say that cigarettes should be sold as a packet, not as a single. You know, in the street lingo we say that's a loose draw. So government would like to, government would like to ban that. So people that are selling cigarettes that doesn't have money, how are they going to sell? How are they going to buy those cigarettes if you know that you can afford to buy a single cigarette? Or a single stick? Now you have to buy the 20 packet. We know for a fact that the economy of South Africa doesn't allow that. So how are our people going to buy those cigarettes? That's another thing from the government. We know for a fact that it's a choice for you to smoke, you know, but we've got so many people that are smoking and they cannot stop tomorrow. You know, that would take some time. But then you cannot say now you just want to stop selling cigarettes in sticks. You just want to sell it as a packet. So that we believe that it's one way of government to ban cigarettes in this country. And I can tell you that even if the government can decide tomorrow to ban cigarettes, we are still going to have illicit, because even now the government cannot stop illicit in this country. So those are some of the points that we are highlighting about this bill. And then we further say that the government is saying again on this bill that they would like to give minister more powers. We have seen with our ministers, they abuse those powers. So those are the things that we are highlighting. We are saying people should come and express their feelings about this bill. We are saying we reject this bill. We say no to this bill. It's not going to benefit the South African. It's not going to benefit the people on the street. The other thing that I also want to highlight is it talks about if people are smoking in their own car, and you see that person smoking in the car, then you can inform the police, and the police can come and arrest that particular person. If somebody is smoking in his own yard, then you can call the police. The police must come and arrest that person. I think if you look into that thing, how practical is that going to be? We know for a fact again that our prisons are full, and we know for a fact that our police officers are struggling with crimes. Now we want to add these petty things and put that as an offense. How possible will that be? Even police officers, they are smoking. So we know the current bill the current tobacco regulations, it has the designated areas where people should smoke. But now, if you are taking it to the yards, to the cars, then you are going extreme. So those are the things that we believe that it is not benefiting the country. It is not benefiting the people of South Africa. It is only going to benefit the illicit traders.
All right. Thank you so much for that information. And also to those who've just joined us at this moment, to the audiences, we're looking at the new tobacco control bill, as well as having conversation actually about the hearings, which are an opportunity to tell the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee what they think of the legislation, as well as whether it should be a priority focus for Parliament, given all the other health challenges facing people within the province. Now, my next question for you, Mr. MOTSUMI, is do you think that new anti-smoking legislation is actually needed, because we seem to have quite strict controls already in place?
No, we've got regulations like that I've just mentioned. So we don't believe that if you go extreme or you put in others regulation, it will help. It will never ever help. The problem is in South Africa, it's our law enforcement. We just have to face that reality. Our law enforcement agencies are not doing their job. But now people are now moving the post here and saying that no, we see young people smoking, blah blah. But we are saying, but who should stop those young people from smoking? Because according to the current regulations, it says, and it is also on the packet of cigarette, it says children at below 18, they shouldn't buy or smoke cigarette. It's simple. So law enforcement agencies should work on those things. That is not something that now the government should come up with another new laws to stop that. It's not going to help.
That is true. Now, let's take a quick look at also some of Izindo Ezekwe, which you know that SNAF is also one of those. Now, we've seen that people who use SNAF are also going to be affected by the legislation. What does the proposed bill mean for people who use sniff, as well as other people who sell it? Because as much as you'll find looses being sold on tabletops, but at the same time, you find that other individuals are actually making money by actually selling these snuffs on tabletops.
That's exactly the point that I was also going to mention, that snuff is also going to be part of that. Remember, snuff is also part of the tobacco. So now the banning of or displaying of tobacco is going to affect our mothers, our sisters, those that are using this snuff, and the traditional healers. We know for a fact that traditional healers are using a snuff. So it is definitely going to affect them. That is why we are saying that they should come in numbers and tell the government that this is not going to help. This is not. I had a grandmother who passed away a long time, I think in 1998, if I can remember very well. And she was using snuff. And back then, I think she passed on at the age of 89. So you could see, and I grew up seeing her using snuff. So that is why I'm saying that now it's going to affect our grandparents. It's going to affect our mothers. It's going to affect our sisters. Why should we go to that extent? So why should it be that extreme? That's the question that we are posing. It is not going to benefit. This is not going to benefit us. I think maybe there is some people that are pushing this agenda for the government, and those are the only people that will benefit. But not. I would like to mention and emphasize this point that the government is not going to benefit from this. Maybe yes, individuals from the government, but the government itself. Remember what is happening now. Since 2019, there was. We have seen a drop or a decline in the legal tobacco market, but that does not translate to what we see in the street. The people that are smoking cigarette, they are still that numbers. We have seen with that 5 months ban, government thought that people will stop smoking, but they were still smoking even then, even during that time. So that simply says to you that you are only stopping the legal market, but now you are giving an opportunity to the illicit traders. So that is what is happening. And remember, illicit trading is not contributing anything to the fiscus of this country. It is only benefiting those people, and then the very same people that we are highlighting as illicit traders. Those are the people that are bringing crime in this country with the money that they are benefiting from illicit trade.
All right, and to those who've just joined the conversation, I see we also have Sisbuyiswa Naike Khona, who's just joined the conversation. We are looking at the new tobacco control bill, and also it has been stated that the hearings will be held from 10 a.m. at the Baftaworth Town Hall, namhlanje being the 26th of January at the Ashley Vane Hart Community Hall in Ekomani on Saturday the 27th, as well as on the 20th of January. They're going to be held here, right in East London at the City Hall. Tell Parliament what you think. Say no to the tobacco control bill. But just before we end it, Mr. MOTSUMI, I want to find out broadly, what's your message to the public about these public hearings?
Our message to the community at large is that they should just come and tell the Parliamentary Committee of Health that this is definitely something that is not going to benefit this country. We are saying they must stop this. They must just take this matter back to the NECLEC so that can be exhausted extensively, because we believe that this is not going to help us as a country. We know for a fact that this country needs more money. We are not saying that we should just sell cigarettes just to make money, but we know for a fact that people are smoking cigarettes, people are using snuff, people are using other tobacco-related products. But what we are asking is that from the government and from the community, let us work together. We believe that if the government can work together with the legal tobacco sector, then we can come up with a better solution for this country. That is what we are appealing to our government. Let's join hands together. If there is a problem, let's see how can we solve this problem. But with a bill like this, it is not going to help this country. It is not going to help the people of South Africa, but it is just going to exacerbate the matters, because we know for a fact that people have lost their jobs. For the past 3 years or so, for the company that I'm working for, we have been experiencing a retrenchment because of the decline that we are experiencing in the tobacco sector. So even in Eastern Cape, we had an organization called the Black Tobacco Farmers Association. So those people, they were planting tobacco, growing tobacco in this province, but I can tell the people of this province now that we no longer have people that are planting tobacco in this province, but yet we've got people that are selling cigarettes in this province. So meaning, in terms of employment, so this province is not benefiting, but the very same people of this province, they are consuming tobacco or through cigarettes from other countries and from maybe from neighboring countries. And then we have seen again, let me just emphasize this point again. We have seen every day in the news people being arrested for illicit trading, and then people smuggling cigarettes from neighboring countries to this country. That simply says to us that the demand of smoking cigarettes is very high. And remember, these people that are selling cigarettes as illicit traders, they are not working with any rule. So those are the people that are selling cigarettes to young people. So now if we can tighten our law enforcement agencies, so that is what we are appealing to our government. So those are some of the issues that we need the community to be aware of. Let's come together. Let's make sure that we tighten our law enforcement agencies to make sure that we don't experience problems like this of young people smoking cigarettes.
That is really true. Thank you so much, Mr. MOTSUMI, for joining us. And before we end it, any last words from your side?
My last word would then be that we from the SATA, we are saying we reject this bill. We believe that this bill is not good for this country. We are saying that people in South Africa, let's work together, let's join hands and make sure that we build our country. Unemployment in this country is very high. So every time when we come up with a bill like this, then alternatively, you are then saying that people should lose their jobs. We have seen that happening for the past few years. But then that is why we are saying, let us stop this thing. It's not going to help us. It is only going to benefit the illicit traders. And people will then get arrested for just smoking cigarettes. We've already have designated areas. Let us work on those things and see to it that they work for this country. So you cannot just say, for an example, you've got your father or your brother who's the only breadwinner. Now he or she get arrested for just smoking cigarettes, and he or she is sentenced for 10 years or is sentenced for 6 months, like what the bill is saying. What is going to happen to that family? So now you are saying that family now is abandoned. That family should now live with 350. Is that what we want as a country? I don't think so. But what we are saying is that we want the current regulation to keep on working. If ever there are measures whereby we need to strengthen it, let's work together. Let's work together through Network, because within Network, we've got the community, we've got the business, we've got also the government. Let us sit down together and come up with measures that are possible to work in this country.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. MOTSUMI, and have a great day further.
Thank you very much. It's very hot, like I said, in Eastern Cape. And we believe that the people in Eastern Cape, they will stand up against this bill and reject it, and ask the portfolio committee to go back and let us, as a country, let us come together and work together for the benefit of this country. We definitely need more money in this country. I just walked, I drove around. There are so many things that needs to be done. So through this money that we are losing to the illicit traders, I can just give you just some few figures. We had an Oxford research economics that gives us research that we have lost almost 4 billion. And then that 4 billion, it's something that we can do something with. So that 4 billion, it has gone straight to these illicit traders. So we cannot work like that.
Something needs to be done, most definitely.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, to Abakoyo, to those who have also just joined us this moment, we were in conversation with the spokesperson from SATA being the South African Tobacco Transformation Alliance. He is the spokesperson, and that was Mr. ZACHARIA MOTSUMI, who is currently here in the Eastern Cape at Butterworth, as we do know that a lot of people are definitely fighting against the new tobacco control bill, and of which SATA is rejecting the bill. Now, around Butterworth at this moment, and tomorrow, Ekomani. Here in East London, your voice can most definitely be heard. And I must definitely say that some of the points that he really made was really, really true, because at the end of the day, we do know Bangabage, those tabletops are actually life foods. A lot of people are out on the streets selling the loose cigarettes or even packets or so forth and so forth, and they are making money out of that. But nonetheless, Parliament is holding public hearings on the new tobacco control bill this weekend. The new bill will have a huge impact in South Africa. It will criminalize smoking as well as snuff and could devastate the tobacco industry. The hearings will be held from 10 a.m. at the Butterworth Town Hall on Friday, the 26th of January, and at Ashley Weinhardt Community Hall in Ekomani on Saturday, the 27th of January, and at East London City Hall on the 28th of January. And tell Parliament what you think. Say no to the tobacco control bill. And once again, that was radio according to SATA, the South African Tobacco Transformation Alliance.